Oh, you youngsters. Wow, how slow can this computer be? My gosh. All right, it's 7:14, and this is a level check. I'm Steve Horstmeyer, meteorologist here at Fox 19 Now, or should I say chief meteorologist, at least for a couple more months before my retirement gets here. Excuse me. It is sinus time in Cincinnati, and my sinuses are letting me know they're not happy. Give me a second here. Okay, it is now 7:15, and it is time for the First Alert Live 7:15 weather show. Let's start off by taking a look at the camera at Turfway Park this morning at 4:18. The lights are on because a lot of the horses get up early and they work out early. So let's go ahead and see what happened through the day. Okay, there's that gray cloud cover, a little bit of texture in there. Every once in a while you might see a patch of blue. You'll see a shower come through every once in a while. But overall, it was just a warm and muggy day. There's some patches of blue. And the latest rain, 7:15, so that's about now. We have the remnants of a couple of thunderstorms showing up barely out to the west. So overall, if you look right out here, there's some tall, towering cumulus clouds, and there's part of a thunderstorm right here. It's kind of falling apart. It's the thunderstorm, this one right over here, that's over Ripley County. We'll look at that on radar here in just a moment. So a quick look ahead at the forecast. Mostly dry tomorrow morning, but afternoon rain and storms around the area. Now, it's not going to be widespread and hours of nonstop rain. What it looks like it's going to be to me is it looks like it's going to be some scattered showers and thunderstorms. There's a chance a couple could be strong. Rain and thunderstorms on Saturday before dawn, then a dry stretch, then they redevelop during the evening hours. Can't rule out something in between, but mostly dry most of the day. Then Sunday, heavy rain and thunderstorms in the early morning hours before dawn, and then tapering off and ending. If you remember yesterday, we were talking about an area of rain or a little disturbance coming through Saturday night and ending before dawn on Sunday. Well, it's a little bit slower now, so it looks like it will be here after dawn, during the morning hours of Sunday. Okay, and tomorrow is Fireworks Friday at Great American Ballpark. The first pitch at 7:10, 80 degrees then and very humid with that chance of a shower. Final out, 72 degrees with that chance of a shower. And of course, at the final out is just about when the fireworks start. It's always a great show, always love it. You've got a beautiful backdrop, all that's from Great American Ballpark. And it looks like sticky weather. Get ready to sweat when you're down there, but it is going to be warm, and any rain that falls could really do a delay in the game, but only a brief delay, not a big deal. Okay, low temperatures this morning were in the 60s and 71 at Oxford at Miami University's airport, but overall in the 60s. So far, high temperatures today. Now, these are preliminary. The final numbers don't come in until after 8 o'clock. 82 in Oxford, 81 in Harrison, 79 at the International Airport. Both Lunken and Batavia at 80. Both Falmouth and Maysville at 82. 81 in Madison, so it was a hot day. Middletown also 81 degrees, and the heat index was a few degrees warmer than that because of the high humidity. And airport temperatures right now look like this. Still 80 in Oxford, 82 in Portsmouth, 80 in Maysville, but everybody else in the upper 70s. With dew points in the 60s mainly and low 70s, what we end up with is a little bit of a heat index. Now let me show you these a couple of spots here. Batesville right here and Lebanon right here had dew points today of 75. That is really hot, and that's way higher than anybody else. But what you're looking at here when you see Batesville and what will happen in the middle of the summer, everybody else will have a heat index around 98, 99. Batesville and Lebanon will end up with heat index values around 105, 106. I've seen 110 last summer. There were a couple of those days. And what you have here is you've got to look at the microclimate of each of these places. In other words, and the easiest way I can tell you is that the front of my house is south facing, so it gets a lot of sun, it warms up fast. The side of the house, almost never, except for maybe an hour in the morning, gets direct sunshine. So the snow doesn't melt over there, but it melts right away in my front yard. Well, my front yard has a different microclimate than my side yard because of the way things are arranged. So what causes the microclimate in Batesville and Lebanon to be different than most other areas? And that is, they're both surrounded by agricultural fields. Okay, and a lot of that is corn, and corn is notorious for transpiring a lot of moisture. And when you have hundreds of acres of corn in the nearby vicinity, the dew point is a lot higher because all that moisture that the corn transpires, and you end up with high heat index values. So that is the microclimate there in Lebanon. Now, what about Hamilton and Lunken? Well, those are both river valley locations. Okay, so Lunken along the Little Miami, right near the junction with the Ohio River. Hamilton along the Great Miami, Middletown also along the Great Miami. So the dew points in these two locations are often higher. Batavia, I'm not really sure why it's 70 there, maybe because of some rain earlier. Lebanon, that 73 dew point is still enough to generate a heat index. So let's go ahead and take a look at the heat index values for some locations. So the heat index in Lebanon, 82. Now, it's not that high in Batesville because they had some rain and that cooled the air a bit. 82 in Shelbyville, 82 in Madison. So 83 is the highest heat index I see, unless I missed one. That's over in Portsmouth. Portsmouth also along a river, the Scioto River. Okay, so here's the shower and thunderstorm activity we've been watching, and you can see there to the west of the city, you can see the thunderstorm activity. If we zoom in, you can see that from basically Liberty, Indiana, up in Union County through eastern parts of Franklin and southern Franklin, down to Greensburg and Decatur County, northern parts of Ripley, most of Dearborn County. There's some shower and thunderstorm activity out there. And you know what? So you can see it better, we'll turn off the lightning, and then I'll do what we call a box zoom and zoom in to this particular feature. Okay, and there we go. And what you see there, see that purple near St. Peter? That could be a hail core. Okay, that's showing a really strong reflectivity, as we would call it, or reflection of the radar energy by whatever's in that part of the thunderstorm. And that is more than likely a hail core. We haven't had any reports of hail yet, but I can turn on, let me turn on some local storm reports and see if we have any. Nope, not a single local storm report to show you on that. But so that's activity's moving off to the north and east. It's dying out as it goes, but Morgan Township may get some heavy rain in a little while. The Oxford area will probably get a little bit. Same with College Corner. Let me move the map down a little bit, and you can see some of those other areas much, much better. Okay, so, and we'll zoom out just a tad. West College Corner 2 is getting some rain right now. Some of it could be heavy. And so that's all moving off to the north and east. And when it moves off to the north and east, we will see it weaken. But we do have showers and thunderstorms in the forecast, but no severe weather. There's not a watch, there's not a warning, and we don't expect anything like that whatsoever through the evening hours. Okay, now if we head to 4 a.m. on Friday, you see there's some shower and thunderstorm activity out there. Now remember, This is one of those global models, and you know, on second thought, let's not look at the global model right now. Let's go to a high resolution model, which will give you a better picture of that. Okay, it gives you a better idea of what's really going on. Okay, so now I'm loading up the HRRR, the HRRR. We call it the HRRR. Brad Moussard calls it the HRRR. And it is a high resolution model. It's updated every hour. And I use it a lot when we're doing nowcasting for the Reds. And what's nowcasting? That's looking at what's going on and saying, here's what's going to happen in the next few minutes based on what's going on now. Okay, well, you can't use models too much when you do that. Okay, so here's what we have. This now let's get up here to 7:15 p.m. Okay, well, there's 7:30 p.m., okay, which is closer now. So, and you can see that it's not doing too badly. Look at where the rain is and where we just saw it on radar. Now, it doesn't have the stuff up this far north or in the eastern part of Franklin County, but it does have the stuff right in here over southeast Indiana, moving to the north and east. And one of the things that meteorologists know, and A, from experience, and B, just from studying it, that high-resolution models like this are really, really good at predicting severe or heavy thunderstorm activity, okay? And one of these things like this model, and Brad Moussard and I've had a number of conversations about it since he's been here, but it's like every time I look at that and say, that's not going to happen, the HRRR, or the HRRR, it's got to be wrong this time. It ends up being right. It's a really, really good model. It's what they call a CAM, C-A-M model, meaning convection allowing model. Most of the models just kind of use the equation, but these actually try to reproduce realistic model-sized thunderstorms within the model. And you can see right here with that rainfall right there, it's doing a really, really good job. Okay, so so what happens then with this model is this. We're going to go forward in time a little bit more, and you see that it has the shower and thunderstorm activity. It's got it a little bit too far south. And one of the things that storms don't do, or the models don't do with storms very well, is position them exactly right. They're excellent at telling you when they're going to pop up. Those could be 5 to 10 to 20 miles off in position. And so we're not yet in the science of meteorology and forecasting to the point where these models can be that good that far ahead of time. Okay, so it's got the shower activity by 9 p.m., continues to move to the north and east. Maybe it gets a little stronger there as it heads on toward Lebanon. So I'd have to say that there's a chance, if this model is correct, that the National Weather Service may issue a low-level severe thunderstorm warning for that, if that becomes true. Okay, so we'll have to keep an eye on that this evening. And then as you continue to head off into the future, you can see the activities very widely scattered, not much strong going on in our viewing area. And for the morning commute, it looks like it'll be mostly dry around the tri-state. Okay. Then the global model doesn't show the rain as well as that high-resolution model does. That high-resolution model has a resolution of 3 kilometers, or let's just say 1.8 miles on the side. Okay, this has got a resolution of 9 kilometers, about double that. So it's got about a resolution of about 3 miles on a side. Okay, and this, so this has trouble showing individual cells. It just shows where there'd be scattered thunderstorms in a big area. It still tells you what it thinks is going to happen and where the rain is likely to be. It just doesn't tell you the detailed activity, the details of the activity like we get from the high-resolution model. Okay, puts this into motion. Overnight into tomorrow morning, it dies out. The morning commute looks dry. Then by 1 o'clock, we have showers popping back up during the heat of the day. Another little disturbance comes through. Excuse me. And by 8:30 a.m. Saturday, there might still be a little rain down around far southern Owen County, on over to Lewis County, north into southern Highland and eastern parts of Adams. Then again, it stalls out. This is what this model has been saying now for 3 or 4 days, that as we head through the afternoon, there'll be some activity. And again, this doesn't mean this will be solid rain through this entire area right here. This is the model because it's got a pretty coarse resolution compared to the high-resolution model, that this is where we'd expect a band of scattered showers and thunderstorms. So instead of having 60 miles of solid rain here, you might only have 10 spotty thunderstorms in that area with rain. So again, looking at what we've got coming our way, we do not think that time Saturday it will be steady, heavy rain. It'll just be scattered thunderstorms around the area. And then as we head on into Saturday evening, look at this next system coming our way. This is brand new. Wasn't on the earlier model runs. And then as we head into Sunday, now I'm going to have to stop it. Stop this and go back here. So let's go back into... All right, so now we are at 3:30 a.m. tonight. Okay, we head into Saturday afternoon. We see the showers popping up there. Let me show you full screen so you can see it better. And then we're Friday evening. There's showers around the area. Now remember, I just told you that we expect scattered showers for Great American Ballpark for Fireworks Friday. That's what scattered showers in the area looks like on a more coarse model. And you might wonder, well, why do you have a coarse model when you can do higher resolution? Well, it takes way too much calculating time. If we did the entire globe on the same resolution that the high resolution model was on, you wouldn't be able to do it on an hourly basis. It just would take way too long to do all the computation. Okay, so this is Friday evening. And then again, everything pushes off to the south and east. There is Saturday afternoon and evening. And then overnight Saturday night into Sunday morning, some more rain. And by the time we get, according to this model, we may see scattered showers around the area on into Sunday afternoon. But the high resolution model, which is a really good reputation, is telling us that most of that ends in the morning Sunday. Okay, now rainfall totals will be anywhere from maybe a little bit less than a half an inch to a little bit more than an inch. And again, spotty depending on whether you're under a thunderstorm or not. And again, the Storm Prediction Center says a marginal risk of severe weather overnight tonight. We don't think there's going to be any at all. Okay, for 8 a.m. Friday to 8 a.m. Saturday, a slight risk. Now, here's one of the things I want to point out to you on these graphics. You've got to be really careful about these graphics when you use them. The Storm Prediction Center issues them for a 24-hour chunk of time. Okay, from 8 a.m. Friday to 8 a.m. Saturday. Now, the job of the local meteorologist, that's me and my colleagues here at Fox 19, the Weather Service, is to pin down when the time is most likely to see that thunderstorm activity pop up. So even though this goes from 8 a.m. Friday to 8 a.m. Saturday, looks like it'll be late evening Saturday into early Sunday morning that we have the greatest risk of severe weather, okay? So we'll have to keep it. It's only a slight risk from Carroll County into Owen, Southern Grant, a little sliver here of Pendleton, a very tiny sliver of Bracken, all of Robertson County, southwestern Mason County, and it just barely touches the border there of Lewis County. And this will change a little bit. I still think they're going to end up pushing it off further to the south. So during the day Friday, we don't expect severe weather, but when you get into late evening, let's say closer to midnight into Saturday morning, that's when the chance could pop up, but it's not a big chance at all. And the chance is really highest just in our far southern counties. Everybody else may have a little lightning, a little thunder. I just doubt that you're going to get much in the way of severe weather. Things just don't look right for that. And then by the time we get to the period of 8 a.m. Saturday, 8 a.m. Sunday, notice the slight risk is pushed way into southern Kentucky. The marginal risk, the level 1 out of 5, is just in our southern counties, and we're done with severe weather, it looks like. Okay, so sunset is at 9:01 today, 77 right now. We should be about 73 at 11 p.m. with some showers in the area overnight. Low of 69 degrees, and with high humidity, it's going to be a muggy start to the day, and the sun's up at 6:13 tomorrow. Okay, I haven't even had time to look at this yet, but this is the new forecast for days 6 to 10 from the Climate Prediction Center. It goes out to the middle of June, and you can see that we are near normal to maybe in a few spots east and north of the city, a little bit above normal for that period of time. We go right back into normal as we head from the 13th to the 19th. And then, of course, this is the one that will be updated tomorrow, June 18th to July 1st. We're looking at a little bit warmer than normal in the tri-state. Precipitation-wise, we stay near normal from the 11th through the 15th. 13th to the 19th, a little bit above normal, and near to a little bit above normal through the 1st of July. But again, this graphic for precipitation outlook is updated again tomorrow after about 3 p.m. Now your 7-day forecast, excuse me again, I'm sorry. Your 7-day forecast looks like this. Tonight's low, 69 degrees, high tomorrow, 81, scattered strong storms. And again, mostly in the late afternoon and evening. I think for the most part, the morning commute looks dry, and the afternoon and evening will have scattered activity, nothing widespread. And again, we're not going into one of those 3 or 4 day rain events. We're going into typical pop-up stuff that settles down overnight. Okay, the rain exits early on Saturday, the high of 77. Some strong morning storms Sunday. Late Sunday night into Monday, some scattered storms, maybe a few strong. Tuesday, a few spotty storms are becoming less and less widespread. And then finally, some dry weather for Wednesday and Thursday. All right, now let's take a look at beyond the 7-day forecast. And you can see that we have 5 out of 7 days here, the first 5, with the chance of some rainfall. And again, it's one of the, you've got to learn how to interpret these graphics. That's not saying each day is going to rain, okay? It's not one of those situations where you have one of those really slow-moving upper lows and we have 5 days in a row of rain. It's the afternoon stuff that pops up, dies down at night, and then refires the next day for the most part. So we've got scattered thunderstorm activity that's kind of summer-like, you know, the afternoon pop-up stuff for 5 days. And then we've got Wednesday and Thursday, the 18th and the 19th on the dry side. And again, the scattered pop-up stuff does not necessarily lead to more precipitation than normal. Okay, if we take a look at our 14-day forecast, highs and low temperatures, what you're going to see here, high temperatures 70s and 80s, low temperatures 60s mainly, actually except for one day. And we compare that to normal. We have a few days where we're below normal, but then we kind of hug normal as we head toward the 19th of the month on both the high and the low side. Now, the highs are slightly below normal. The lows are a little bit more than that above normal, and so we'd average out just a little bit warmer than normal as we head out toward the 19th of the month. And what we can do then is I can go back here. Okay, so we're saying we're going to be kind of near normal. And if you look at the 6 to 10 day outlook, kind of review that. Okay, it'll pop up here in a second. Comparing it to the graph we just looked at, you can see that we're near to a little bit below normal. Now remember, so that's, you know, within, that's very close to what this is saying. That's through the 15th of the month. And if we look at it for the next half through the 19th, we warm up a little bit more. So for that stretch of 14 days, we're going to see something near normal for this part of June. And then we stay about normal for precipitation. Also, woo, my voice is about to go again. So let me check out Facebook. And as soon as we get done covering comments and questions, I will have to call it, excuse me again, call it an evening. And this isn't sickness, this is allergies. I go through this every year. This is my 72nd year of having to go through this. And you know what? I hope there are a lot more. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay, serious up here. Let's get going. All right, here we go. Also, we got quite a few comments. Melvin Stone Street. Hey, Steve, is it going to be nice this weekend? Well, kind of. It'll be a little bit less humid by late in the day on Saturday and Sunday, but we do have some rain from time to time, mainly Saturday before dawn, then Saturday evening, and then Sunday in the morning also. Okay, Betty Plyman, hello. Hi, Betty, how are you? No severe weather anytime. I don't have any severe weather in tonight. Can't rule out a marginally severe or strong thunderstorm through the weekend at one of those times, but it's not a big organized system, no really strong storms coming our way. Hi, Nathan Fields, how are you? Kathy Jackson says hello. Hi, Kathy. Hope you're doing okay. Kathy Marshall says hello from Middletown, Ohio. Hello, Kathy. Don't know if you were on early enough, but we were talking about microclimates, and the official temperature for the Middletown area is measured at Hook Field, the little airport there, and that's right along the Great Miami River, so its humidity is often higher. So oftentimes Middletown is one of the warm spots when it comes, warm to really hot spots when it comes to the heat index. Okay? Jennifer Claiborne says, I know we have chances for storms tonight, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, and just a minute, and Monday. Now, do we need to stress over any of them? No, not so far. These are all looking like, for the most part, a few claps of thunder, some lightning, maybe a light wind gust. A couple of the storms for the entire weekend, not a couple in every spot, just a couple in the entire viewing area could get close to severe, and that's what we're looking at the present time. So I wouldn't stress about any of them. And then Letta Becker says, hello, what about Hamilton? Well, I tell you, Hamilton, I don't think most people know this, but back in the 1920s and 1930s, okay, when things like air conditioning was being invented and all the technology for brakes for cars, that the equivalent of today's Silicon Valley, okay, now Silicon Valley, of course, is the big place for software and all that. There wasn't software back in the 1920s and 30s. But the place in the United States for all that technology and development was the Miami River Valley. Hamilton, Middletown, all those areas were centers of innovation, invention, and drove the economy often. So that's one thing about Hamilton. But let's see, where are we going here? I think I've lost the comment. Oh, so she said, what about Hamilton? So you'll get a few showers and thunderstorms, clap of thunder in Hamilton, Letta, but there's nothing to worry about. Excuse me a second. Man. Okay, Jeff Beechel, anything for Greenfield tonight? Nope. I mean, scattered showers or thunderstorms. When you say anything, I'm assuming you're meaning anything in the way of severe weather. Nah. Letta Baker says, New Miami, same thing. Everybody's kind of in the same boat tonight. A few showers or thunderstorms will move through parts of the area. Some of us will get nothing. Some will get a brief heavy downpour. Nobody should see anything severe. Excuse me again. Dave Pyatt says, hi, Steve. Hello, Dave. And then Dave Pyatt from Hillsborough, okay? So, yeah, Ethan Emery recently used to work here. We were sorry to see him go, man. You can't find meteorologists like Ethan Emery much, and that's from that good country upbringing where people are still pretty tough, unlike us city dwellers who kind of, you know. Okay, I'm kidding. And Letta Baker says thank you. Okay, Letta, you're very welcome, and thanks for watching tonight. Okay, that's it. Let me quick. Whoops, I almost forgot. Let me quickly go back over the 7-day forecast for those of you that may have joined late, so you can see what's coming our way. And then as soon as we're done with the forecast there, I will call it a night and go rest my throat up for the 10 o'clock news. Okay. So here's your 7-day forecast. We're looking at a low tonight of 69, a high tomorrow of 81, scattered strong storms. And again, mostly dry in the morning, but during the afternoon and evening, scattered activity around the area. The rain exits early Saturday, but then Saturday evening into Sunday morning, a few more strong storms are possible. Takes a break. Sunday night into Monday morning, a few more storms are possible, but again, they're scattered again. The storms will be tapering off on Tuesday. Then Wednesday and Thursday both look dry, and we begin to make it back into the 80s by Thursday of next week. Okay, then we go to beyond the 7-day forecast, just 7 days more in the forecast. It goes out to the 19th. And again, you would think if you just look at this, that, hey, we've got 5 days in a row of rain. Well, we really don't. What we have is 5 days in a row with a chance of rain. And we are going more into the summer-like precipitation types of patterns. Instead of a low-pressure system that takes its time going from Terre Haute, Indiana to Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and gives us 4 days of rain, we're now into the summer type of precipitation. It's more driven by heat of the day and humidity, and that gives you pop-up scattered stuff. And the pattern that you can expect for Friday the 13th, oh my gosh, Friday the 13th, I didn't see that until now, through Monday, or for Tuesday the 17th, is that typical pop-up shower and thunderstorm activity that some spots get it, and your next door neighbor and you may not get anything at all, but a mile down the road there's rainfall. Okay, so don't let that 5 days with the possibility of rain scare you. It's just mainly the hit and miss pop-up stuff. Then Wednesday and Thursday, 18th and 19th, dry out. But we've got, it sounds like we've got a nice warm pattern there, but we really have a pattern that's pretty close to normal. If you take a look at our high and low temperature graph for the next 14 days, compared to normal, there are the highs and lows. The normal line will come on here, and you can see that by the time we get to the 19th, normal high is 85, and we're just hugging normal basically from the 12th through the 19th for that 7-day stretch. We're a little bit below normal before that, and same thing on the low temperature side, although most of the time on the lows we're a little bit warmer than normal. And precipitation looks like it's going to be close to normal. Okay, that is it for now. Thanks for joining me. You might hear a clap of thunder this evening and overnight. Most of us will not. No severe weathers in the forecast, and I expect to see most of the morning commute on the dry side. Nothing worse. Now, you've got to also understand that I've spent my entire adult life, other than a year and a half when I taught school in the Cincinnati public schools, but I spent my entire adult life not dealing with rush hour traffic either part of the day. I come to work at 2 in the afternoon. I go home from work at midnight, and there's just not much traffic out then. So when I talk about the morning commute being dry, I realize the importance of that, because the few times I've had to get up and drive my wife to work or drop her off at the airport or something, and I'm driving through rush hour traffic, it's like, oh my gosh, how can anybody do this every single day? So I'm just not used to it. So I know when we have rain in the morning what that means for your day. And the worst thing I think that you can get is getting to Friday. You've had a long work week behind you. All you want to do is get your work done for Friday, get home and have a weekend, and then you're fighting traffic to get to work on a Friday because of the rain out there. It doesn't look like that tomorrow morning, just a few scattered showers and most of the road's fine. Have yourself a nice night. Thanks for joining me, and I hope oh, by the way, I'm off tomorrow, and I'm on vacation next week. It's a staycation, so I'm at home. We had a new driveway put in, and I've got to do clean up the landscaping around that and a couple other things, because we had a 16 by 32 pool. Now, we didn't put it in. It was there when we bought the house, and I meant to fill it in 1999 when we bought the house, and we meant to put a new driveway in 1999 when we bought the house. We just got it done, so I do procrastinate. So I'll be off tomorrow. I'll be off next week. If by some chance some severe thunderstorms pop up Friday or through the weekend, I will come in and assist whoever's on duty to make sure that you get the information as quickly as you need to. And once again, thanks for joining me, and I'll see you when I get back from vacation.